we always did the jamboree at Neyland Stadium, and at halftime of that jamboree, you'd play 4 or 5 games at the beginning, 4 or 5 at the end. But at halftime, all the schools that were participating would have a halftime competition where you would race the fastest lineman, the fastest back, you would have the longest throw and the longest punt. That has disappeared. And that is what I think, the partnership with Dick allows us to start to bring back.
One. It's 5 a.m. in the morning, and the gym is where I'm going. Gotta get my sport fit. C1 is where I'm going, baby. D1. I said D1.
Hey, thanks for checking out the show. It's called No Playbook, and it's brought to you by D1 Training. My name is Casey, and on this show, we interview the coaches, players, and experts that help to make sports and fitness such an important part of life here at East Tennessee. If it's your first time checking out the show, please go back and listen to some of the top episodes that I've had some really cool athletes from here in this area. PGA golfer Scott Stallings was on an ep. Cleveland Browns quarterback Joshua Dobbs, even Monica Abbott, who's one of the greatest college and professional softball players of all time. I also like to really feature some local high school athletes, especially those that are really focused on getting recruited to play sports in college. Today, I've got Markus Jackson on the show, a defensive back and running back at Powell High School. We talk about their recent state championship back in 21 and how he's going about trying to get himself recruited. Also, Powell's head football coach, Matt Lowe, joins the podcast today. We talk about the Knoxville Classic. It's a 7v7 tournament that's coming up next week. And we've kind of put together a cool hype event at Dick's House of Sport there at Westtown Mall. That's for July 12th. And of course, we talk a lot about that. But first, let's get into it with Markus Jackson, upcoming senior at Powell High School. Now, a little bit of quick context. He had 2 teammates that were supposed to join him on the show. They kind of left him hanging. We had fun with it. Where are your boys at?
Man, I gotta be sleeping something, man.
Are you going to give them a hard time for not showing?
Yeah, I called him.
That's what a good teammate would do. You got to find some way to like haze them or something for not showing up.
Steven would do it to me, so I gotta get him back.
Right. You gotta make sure. So, Markus Jackson, you play corner. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Any offensive positions?
A little bit of running back.
Okay, got it. So what we're really talking about on this show is I'm going to catch it with Coach Lowe to talk about the Knoxville Classic, the 7-on-7 tournament coming up in a couple of weeks. But one thing D1 has been really involved with is this like hype event that's going to be at Dick's House of Sport. And that's going to be on Wednesday, the 12th of July, 5 to 8 o'clock. People can come watch that. Have you heard about what this is going to involve?
Yeah, it's like a combine style competition.
Yeah. So we're going to have a 40. Hang on. Excuse me. So D1's going to bring out our lasers. We're going to do timed 40s. We'll do broad jump, but also we're going to set up a bench press. And like they do at the combine, we'll have a bench contest. And have something for the quarterbacks, like an accuracy challenge. You think one of those events they're going to stick you in?
They should. If they
Which one?
Win, I say the 40.
The 40. What's your 40 time, Markus?
4, 5, 6.
Wow. We did an event with Joshua Dobbs a couple weeks ago. We ran his camp this year. He does a fun thing where everybody runs a 40 and we time it. And then the fastest times, he will actually race them. So there was a kid that was 14 years old and ran a 4.59. And then at the end raced Dobbs. And I mean, when I say Joshua Dobbs won by a hair, it was like he leaned forward. I think he just won because he's a little taller. It was crazy. So Markus, you're an upcoming senior, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you were a part of the team in 21 that won the state championship, right?
Yes.
Okay. Talk a little bit about just what that experience was like, start to finish with that season, because you had some ups and downs, but then capping it all off with a championship.
It was rough a little bit, and we just found our everybody started clicking, started making big plays, and just turned into something special.
Was there anything that was kind of memorable, like for a turning point for you guys during the season?
Um, After losing a few games and people just saying bad and all of it, just fueling us to do better, and then win the championship just topped it all off.
Yeah, I was at the Maryville game.
Yeah.
I actually live a couple, like maybe a mile away, and I just wanted to see Walter play. Uh, so I was at that game, and I know that um, you guys hit that turning point later. And I always love hearing stories about teams like you guys that hit that turning point during the season. Like, is there a moment when you start to believe? Maybe it's even during the playoffs. Like, I hadn't really considered we could win the state championship, but was there a time when that snapped with you, and you're like, I really think we could do this?
It really happened in the summer, to be honest. When we were all training and putting in work, it was just we was destined for it.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, having that confidence that can help kind of put you over the top. So that's really good. What about this upcoming year, 23? What are the Panthers going to look like?
Man, we got a lot of young talent. We just gonna come in. It's not gonna be the same as last year, of course, but you know, we're gonna make it do what it do.
Yeah. How did you do this past season?
I did good. I had a lot of deflections, had one interception. It wasn't too much crazy. I got me a touchdown on offense. You know,
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
Now,
sure.
during the summertime, Marcus, I know that such a big thing is going to these camps.
Mhm.
Talk about the ones that you've gone to and what they really mean for your recruiting.
It's really good for your recruiting, so you can get out in front of coaches and show them what you can do. Well, while they can see you, and not just film, they can see you in person. You make a lot of connections. You build relationships with the coaches, talk to them before, after the camps. You know what I mean? And you don't even really just always talk about football all the time. You can talk about life things with a coach, school. It's just not always about football. You just want to make a good connection.
I wonder if the coaches are doing that kind of to see your personality, and to see how you're going to react to stuff, not just can you deflect a ball on defense, but also like, can you have a conversation? Is the light turned on upstairs?
Yes. I mean, like the few camps I've been to, like EKU, Kentucky Westland, certain ones, like where it was really a lot of showcase. You go on the 101, 707, you just you show what you can do, and it's not even just it's about business, but you always go out there, you have fun too.
Yeah. Now, when you go to a camp like EKU, are you hoping to get an offer?
Always, any camp you hoping to,
Yeah.
and you just hoping to be the best you at that camp and at that time.
What about your offers so far?
I don't have any.
Okay, but you see some on the horizon, I believe.
Yes, for sure.
Good, good. I mean, keep popping out that extra work and going to those camps and doing you know, the extra stuff, and that's something that the coaches notice for sure. Now, your boy Steven that you mentioned earlier, he's got a few offers, right?
Yes.
I was wondering when we were going to get a commitment from him because he's got a long rap sheet of kind of D1 style offers. Do you have any idea when he plans to commit?
I know before school ended, he told me he was gonna commit before his birthday. Then he came out, he said the 25th, but I don't really know what happened. So now I'm
I
just, now I'm just waiting as much as you guys are.
I saw on his Twitter that he said he was not going to commit on the 25th. So I guess he changed his mind. And I guess a lot of times maybe another coach got in his ear and put
Yeah,
second thoughts in his mind. That can happen for sure.
yeah. The recruiting game is kind of crazy. Anything can happen.
Now, what about this 7-on-7 challenge? What is a strategy that can set you apart in a 7-on-7 game versus even, 11v11? Obviously, you don't have so many of the big guys involved. So is it just you're just relying on speed, or what is your ideal tactic?
I say really just, you know, yeah, you want to match up your speed with your speed or talent on talent. But I also just say, I mean, it's gonna sound kind of plain, but you gotta outsmart your opponent. You know what I mean? You gotta look at certain places where you are down the distance, how many plays you got left in the drive, and you just gotta look in your playbook and see what you got.
Yeah. Now, what do you do when you're not on the field? Do you have any hobbies around Knoxville?
I really just, man, I don't go out that much. Man, I'm training a lot, and if not, when I'm at the house, I'm just playing video games, chilling with family.
What's your video game choice?
Madden and Call of Duty.
There you go, man. I wish I could. My kids are into like, what is the one where Mario characters fight? Smash
Uh,
Brothers.
Smash Bros.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
just
used
it's
to
just
play
like
that. I used
all
to.
the time with these kids. Um, hey, one thing I ask everybody: what is your favorite workout exercise?
I like squats.
Okay,
Yeah,
just for throwing up the high weight, or you just like
yeah. It's just the
tearing
one
those
where
legs up?
it's just the one where I know I can get the most weight up and just feel good about myself.
Right. How about one great sports memory for you? It could be as a spectator, it could be as a player. I don't care if it's as a high schooler or as a Pop Warner. Just something that sticks out in your mind.
Um, I remember this time down in John Tarleton. My team, we were down by like 3 touchdowns at halftime. We came back, we won the game overtime. It was
So how old
just,
were you then?
I think I was probably about 9 when that happened, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
The thing I love about memories like that is it's not just, it isn't that you won the game. That's not what's super memorable. But it's a moment in time when you probably like really started to fall in love with football.
Yeah,
Um, like I used to coach soccer and I would, kind of tell them like, you guys, you're 8 years old. You're not going to remember in 20 years if you won or lost this game. But if you find a moment, really find that passion and that love for it, that's what's going to stick with you. So come out and let's have some fun and let's learn something and get a little bit better today. Because that's for kids sports. I think that's more important. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, totally.
Well, cool. Now, how about your boy Nico, who did show? He's a defensive lineman. Do you know, is he a guy being recruited at all?
Yes, I know he's been going to camps, talking to coaches. You know, we're really both just waiting on one to fall. And then, but we keep grinding, putting in work, being the best us, and just, you know what I mean? Just ready
Excellent.
for the season, really.
Right on, man. Well, Nico, can let's see if we can get your coach in. I'd like to hear him talk about the Knoxville Classic.
All right.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
Hey,
he's
coach.
audio only.
You can't hear me?
No, well, yeah, but
Okay.
you won't be on his camera,
Okay.
but you'll be on mine. Okay.
Hey,
Hey, Marcus,
coach.
jump into it.
What's going on, man? You good?
Yeah, yes, sir. How about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. Been running the
So
roads a little bit, but back in the office today.
there you go. This kind of dead period, is that actually a break for you or not at all?
It is a break. Get to travel, get to do some things, but as long as my cell phone's in my pocket, I don't know there's ever really too much of a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so we caught up with Markus about just some stuff going on with the team from a player's perspective. As we've got the Knoxville Classic, this 7v7 tournament coming up. Just talk a little bit about what that is and where it is and everything that surrounds it.
I mean, we're obviously extremely excited to host the event, and we're extremely excited to have the partnership we do with Dick's for a new event that's going to happen on that Wednesday. To have these teams to be able to come over to Dick's House of Sport and be able to go through there and compete in some off the field type stuff. And a lot of what you already know, and I'm sure I've already touched on, is we're trying to set this up to be a lot like the Pro Bowl competitions that those pros get to do, that so many of these young athletes get to watch and emulate, or get to watch and someday dream to emulate. Well, now they get to turn around and they get to do some of those same type events. They get to do some of those same things, and to have their teammates there with them, and some community to be there to support them. Those should be an extremely fun night. And then you turn around and the following day on that Thursday, we're going to have pool play. And I think there's 22 teams, all within, an hour and a half of here, that are committed to showing up and competing, in pool play. And then based on pool play, got a double elimination bracket. So that going into Friday, it's going to create a long day for us. We're going to be on site, majority of that Friday. But what a fun event for these kids to get to play in. A lot of them get this opportunity with travel teams, with 7-on-7 teams, basically February through, sometime in May. But now to do it with the guys that they play high school ball with is another type of, environment that many of them don't get to have. And, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when we started to create this, that was kind of the goal, is to have a, double elimination tournament style event for high schools to come in here and compete and to get as much competition as TSSAA will allow us to have in the month of July.
Now, last I spoke to you, we had 22 teams signed up. Is it the same?
22, a couple have dropped out, and Alcoa has added in. And then, so there is a total of 22 right now. I guess there are 22 teams. There are 21 schools represented.
Oh, okay, great. So one of the schools is going to have
one of the
couple?
schools is going to have Bearden because of their sheer numbers. They're going to have 2 teams in it.
Oh, sweet. So I was just remembering when you were talking about the old Pro Bowl things. I was remembering right when I moved to Tennessee, that was the days of Joey Matthews. Do you remember him? Quarterback. And I went to the punt, pass, and kick contest just because I knew he was a Tennessee recruit. And I was a fan. I just wanted to see this guy. And I remember thinking, where I'd grown up, there was never anything like that. And it was just a fun memory to see this punt, pass, kick contest. And these kind of things are, sometimes they're like underwear Olympics type events.
Correct.
But they can be fun, showcasing, that speed. Markus is talking about his 40. There's other folks that are going to love to, show off their bench press. So I think it'll be a spectator event and a lot of fun for the kids.
When many years ago, when I was, playing here at Powell High School, and then even all the 10, 12 years that I got into coaching, we always did the jamboree at Neyland Stadium. And at halftime of that jamboree, you'd play 4 or 5 games at the beginning, 4 or 5 at the end. But at halftime, all the schools that were participating would have a halftime competition where you would race the fastest lineman, the fastest back. You would have the longest throw and the longest punt. So it was there at Neyland Stadium. Everybody was watching. It was always a big event. That has disappeared. And that is what I think, the partnership with Dix allows us to start to bring back, is to have all of these schools that are so close, that are in this area, to now be able to show up at one central location and have that form of competition again, so that these kids can get out there and start to highlight some of their skills. And you're talking about a lot of different skills, whether it's the guy throwing the football or the guy doing the bench press or the running, the jumping. There's a lot of different skills that are a part of a football team and a football program. And so it really gives these guys the opportunity to go through and highlight some of those skills, but still be as part of a highly competitive but team setting as well.
That's great. Real quick, Coach, one question I do ask everybody: what is your personal favorite workout exercise when you're hitting the gym?
Well, it's been a day or two since I've actually been to the gym and worked out personally. But for me as a young athlete, and for me as a guy who tries to translate weight room to the football field, I'm a huge fan of hang cleans. I always was as a player. I think it's what's going to show the most explosiveness and the most translatable type exercise of how good can this kid be at firing his hips and being explosive, whether it means tackling somebody, whether it means coming out of a cut, whether it means exploding through a hole and being able to set it. I'm a huge fan of those guys being able to be fast with the hands, be able to flip their hips and be able to get up underneath some weight and be able to stick it and push it through. So, for weight room type guys, that it's the one that I've always gauged who has that natural athleticism combined with that power to go along with it.
Right on. Well, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. And then, of course, the big event on the 12th at Dick's House of Sports starting at 5 o'clock. All right. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
You got it. Thank you.